Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. We have an Artist of the Week for this lesson, and our Artist of the Week is a man named Keith Haring. Keith Haring was born in Kutztown, Pennsylvania in 1958. He came to college here in Pittsburgh, and he went for art school. He loved drawing and painting. He loved creating shapes and making them look like people or animals and making them doing something. If you look at this one here, this kind of reminds you, if any of you are cheerleaders, holding somebody up from a cheerleader pyramid. If you've ever done that before, you probably have. If you are a cheerleader, you probably have done that. So you may have been on the top or you may have been on the bottom being one of the supporting people. He got his start living in New York City, where he met another famous artist from Pittsburgh, Andy Warhol. Andy Warhol was already famous and living in New York City, and he really helped Keith get his work shown and into galleries and museums and things. Now, during that time, Keith made a few missteps by painting on the areas of the New York City subway system, and you're not allowed to do that. So he did get a little bit of flack for painting on the walls of the subway system, because that's just like doing graffiti art, which destroys property. But after a few instances where he was told not to do it, he decided to move to canvas and then started doing like installations at art centers, things like that, when he became more popular. You can see a lot of his figures in his pictures. There's nothing on them that indicates hair color, skin color, eye color, nothing on them that is either boy or girl, nothing in the way of clothing, mittens, shoes, just a form, somebody doing something. And this one here is a baby. This one here is looking like if you've ever taken a stick and you may have cracked it, busted it apart over your knee. I've always liked this one, and it kind of reminds me of when you scare somebody and you go boo and they jump. That's what that kind of reminds me of when I look at that picture. He died in 1990. He was only 31 when he died, but he left a huge amount of work available, not only on his website that his parents run for him, but at different art and museum sites all over the world. So hopefully someday, if you're traveling, you will be able to see some Keith Haring murals or artwork at different civic centers and things. So Keith Haring, our Artist of the Week. Which brings me to what our lesson is going to be today. It is going to be noun and verb surrealism. What is surrealism? It's like a fantasy type of artwork that doesn't make any sense, but it makes sense to the artist who created it. And I'm sure in language arts at school, you've learned about nouns and verbs and adjectives and things like subject, predicate, all those parts of the English language that we already know. But if you're learning them, a basic way to break it down would be a noun is a person, place, or thing. Also can be an idea. So I should probably put idea up there, because it could be a person, place, thing, or idea. And a verb is strictly an action word. Running, playing football, singing, dancing, tapping, like tapping your foot, or scratching, or hitting, or smiling, something that you do. You actually have you're actually doing something. So using these two parts of speech, you can come up with a noun word and a verb word and put them together. And the drawings aren't going to make any sense. They probably will not. But this ends up being a really fun activity when you do it. You can use color pencil, markers, whatever you would like to use would work for this. And you can choose one noun and two verbs or three verbs or even just one. So let me just show you a few examples that I have done in the past, and it should be hopefully easy for you to see what the picture really is about. So this one here is a pig, and it is flying, but also riding a bicycle. So this one would be pig, flying, and bicycling. So this one here, this is a perfect example of surrealism. Does it make any sense? No. Makes sense to me, the creator of it, but it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to you, the viewer. It means probably more to the artist than it does to the person viewing the artwork. Let me show you another one. This one here, especially with holidays coming, this one was probably a fun one for you to see. This one here is an apple singing and baking. Now, maybe some of you make cookies for the holidays. There are holidays coming up in the winter here, fall and winter. Maybe some of you do some baking. Maybe some of you help your moms or dads do the mixing in the bowl, and maybe even putting icing on the cookies or cakes or whatever it is that you're creating. And this apple not only has a microphone in his hand, but he's also singing fa la 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 la. So a holiday type of song. So this is one of my favorites, actually, and you can see that he's actually in the kitchen making those things. So just to top it off, surrealism is a type of artwork that has an element of fantasy in it. It doesn't have to make sense to you, the viewer. It probably makes more sense to the artist who created it. And hopefully you will have, now that you already know, you're learning at school, you probably already know about nouns and verbs. You can start putting these things together and come up with some great fantasy type of artwork, something fun, especially to do on a rainy day. You never know. I know we haven't had any rain lately here in Pittsburgh, but I'm sure in the fall we will be getting more. And to all my former Bethel Park students, I miss you all, and I just want to say hello, and I hope you're enjoying these videos. Your brothers and sisters are enjoying them, and have a great evening, and I will see you soon. Bye.